Oh yeah, we gotta talk about this one. Someone hit me with the hype stuff. The real hype stuff. I said the real hype stuff.
Perfection.
What's up guys, it's me Zero to my Kitsune, and do you like mechs? Do you like building them? Watching them fly through the air despite averaging a weight of a small city? Seeing them shoot way more missiles than they actually need to destroy a target? Then I have a game for you. M.A.S.S Builder is a Kickstarter title that I stumbled upon while making one of my other spotlights, but didn't have time to cover. Not that it mattered because good lord look at that funding. Plot wise, it looks like anime Pacific Rim, with monsters terrorizing the world and the player fighting against them with the highly customizable mechanical assault skeleton suit, aka M.A.S.S. Like the title of the game? But plot schmod. The real focus of this game is clearly customizing your mech suit, tweaking each and every little aspect of it to suit your personal taste. Oh man, you could sit in a customization like this for a while. The mech has, I think, over 30 different sections that can be armored, with the demo having around 7 parts for each. And yes, you did hear me correctly, this isn't just me screaming about some fancy trailer or anything. There is a functional demo available on Steam right now, although it is rather bare bones, and the Kickstarter page flat out states that it's not indicative of the final product. You can paint each and every part individually with a full color wheel, metallic and gloss sliders, and even pattern options with their own little submenu for customization. You can decal each and every part to give it that realistic sci-fi feel, you know, like several companies work together to make each and every part, labeling spots for technicians, warnings, ejection panels, the works. Now with this level of customization, it does come with a rather rough UI. Navigating it isn't the smoothest. Like I was stumbling through the painting process. Almost had a little section here talking about how I would hope the game has shortcuts for colors, but no, the game does have things to make the process somewhat convenient. It's just not obvious, or at least obvious to me, but I'm impatient. I did feel like there was a lack of, I guess, light armor. Most of the parts available felt like medium/heavy options. And while you are free to unequip armor altogether, it does expose the core frame, which is extremely thin, but to be fair, demo. Not expecting to make Gundam Rose here. Yet. Speaking of core frame, while the game is mainly focused on building a humanoid mech, there will be multi-legged frames, you know, your spider bots and such, in the game thanks to a very, very successful campaign. A small nitpick though, I hope they include more asymmetrical options for the launchers that get attached to mech's shoulders in the full game, in case someone wants to build a, you know, mech that looks like it almost has all of its money and weapons centered inside of one super arm, like Daimidalia. You know, that one giant robot with the oversized fap arm powered by Seku Haradesu? Yes, that's a real anime series. Speaking of weapons, you have plenty of different weapon types to start with, none of them powered by Seku Haradesu. Ranging from melee tools to all manners of guns, shoulder-mounted launchers, and even assist droids. You can attach blades, change damage types, paint and decal, once again, the works. There is plenty to customize, and even though it's not as plentiful with the slots as building an entire 30-piece mech, you actually have a lot more freedom to make some insanely stupid and funny combinations. I am disappointed that there aren't any physical shields in the demo to build. That's one of those Gundam elements that I was really expecting, but the game does give you plenty of anime weapons to make, like scythes and katanas, maybe both if you're adventurous. I was wondering about what kind of stats would be attached to this kind of customization since it's not in the demo, but the Kickstarter page flat out states that the only stat cosmetic customization will affect is weight, or one might say, mass. Ha! Instead, stats are all going to be handled in the parameter section, where you can upgrade its engines, OS, and architect categories. The demo does hard limit the player to tier 2 upgrades in this section, but it's enough to get a feel for how the systems work, with upgrades being main and subunits that can be equipped to your mech for those sweet stat points. And that's basically it. I spent like an hour and a half building my mech, just playing around with the customization and only lightly tweaking things with weapons and decals, not even going that far. But just doing that was plenty of fun. Wait, I'm forgetting something. Oh shit, combat, that's a thing here as well. You do get to field test your mechs in the demo to see what kind of actual gameplay is on offer here. The mechs are quite agile. You're not lumbering through the battlefield Big O style, potentially causing more property damage than you're saving, but instead feels closer to Code Geass's mid-tier Nightmare frames. I wasn't really feeling the melee combat all that much. It works, but I had more fun shooting Gatling lasers, firing cannons, and the sweet FPS killing missile showers. Yes! Initially I thought that the enemies were quite bullet spongy, but I think that had to do more with me going into combat for the first time without any tweaked weapons or upgrades, because playing it again later, and you know the demo is good if you come back for more, playing it again later, properly upgraded, the enemies went down far faster, maybe even too fast, but obviously something like that would be tweaked in the full game, because demo. One thing missing from this mech title that I hope is in the final product is some sort of battle damage. I took quite a beating in my first time around, but the only thing I saw were sparks on my mech. Maybe having some of the parts break off, or at least some visual scuffs could be added into the game, because it's just not mech without singed paint, broken armor, and battle scars. Just ask the Gundam model kit community. The demo is a lot of fun both building your mech and battling in the field, so I highly recommend checking it out. Even if the Kickstarter is basically over, you should be able to download the Steam demo and try it out for yourself. I personally can't wait to see this game finished, that way I can have more customization, more mission types, and just more of what the demo is setting up, because if FromSoft won't stop playing around with their souls and give us another fucking Armored Core game, then baby, it's time to start looking elsewhere. Either way, that's it for this spotlight, and I will see you guys next time. Mata.